In the quiet coastal town of Sol Bay, Washington, 70-year-old Tova Sullivan works the night shift. She cleans the local aquarium. It is solitary work, which suits her well. 30 years ago, her 18-year-old son, Eric, vanished in a boating incident, leaving behind an anchored skiff and a mystery that has never been resolved. Now widowed, Tova is methodically closing out her independent life. She is packing up the house her father built, preparing to sell it, and arranging to move into a managed retirement facility called Charter Village. Tova isn't the only resident wandering the aquarium after hours. Marcellus is a giant Pacific octopus with a sharp intellect and a habit of squeezing his way out of his enclosure. Once the staff leaves, he navigates the dark hallways to scavenge snacks from the break room trash and neighboring tanks. But Marcellus is operating on a strict biological clock. A giant Pacific octopus lives for exactly 4 years, or 1,460 days. His timeline shrinks down to a tiny sliver. He has precisely 160 days left, 2 different species occupying the same building, both quietly running out the clock on their respective lives and completely insulated from the outside world. Down in California, a 30-year-old named Cameron Casmore is having a spectacularly bad week. He's just been fired from his retail job and kicked out of his apartment. His only possession of note is an old high school class ring left behind by the mother who abandoned him when he was 9. Cameron examines the ring alongside a scrap of an old photograph and makes a deduction. He believes the ring ties his mother to a wealthy real estate developer named Simon Brinks, making Brinks a highly probable candidate for his biological father. Desperate for a payout, or perhaps just a stable anchor, Cameron drives his broken-down camper north. He traces a route straight up the coast towards Simon Brinks's last known location in Washington state. Cameron's pursuit of a father he's never met pulls his trajectory directly towards Sol Bay. His timeline collides with the exact physical coordinates occupied by Tova and Marcellus. The intersection happens immediately. During one of his nightly crawls, Marcellus gets dangerously tangled in a nest of power cords in the break room. Tova discovers him and unwinds the cords to save his life, but she suffers a severe ankle sprain in the process. Grounded by a medical boot, Tova is forced to take time off, and the aquarium needs a temporary cleaner. Cameron arrives in Sol Bay at that precise moment and takes over her night shifts, putting him right in front of Marcellus's tank. Cameron's primary mission quickly falls apart. He manages to track down Simon Brinks only to learn the man is definitively not his father. The investigation hits a total dead end. Furious and defeated, Cameron stops by the aquarium pump room. He chucks the heavy gold ring, the only remnant of his mother's past, straight into the enclosure housing the wolf eels, abandoning it among the jagged rocks and needle-like teeth. With Cameron ready to pack up and leave town, the physical link to his parentage sits at the bottom of a hostile tank, resting entirely out of human reach. Marcellus processes what he sees. He notices the physical traits of Tova and Cameron. He recognizes the class ring and understands that Cameron's mother was intimately connected to Tova's deceased son, Eric. He links Cameron's age, his mother's identity, and Eric's history to arrive at a firm conclusion. Cameron Casmore is Tova Sullivan's biological grandson. Marcellus knows his time is short. To repay Tova for saving him from the power cords, he decides to use his remaining strength to reveal the information she's been searching for. Decades of human grief and geographic separation are funneled down into a single point. The resolution to this family history now rests entirely on the physical capability of a dying captive marine animal. Marcellus forces his failing body out of his tank one last time. He navigates to the wolf eel enclosure, retrieves the discarded class ring, and drags it across the tile floor, collapsing right in the entryway where Tova will find him. Tova discovers the exhausted octopus and the heavy gold ring. She looks at the engraved year and initials, recognizing the same era Cameron's mother lived in Soul Bay and the connection to her own son. Realizing Cameron is about to leave Soul Bay forever, Tova intercepts him. She brings him to her house, leading him to Eric's old bedroom, where Cameron pries open a hidden floorboard. Inside that hidden space, they find objects Eric kept hidden for decades. Tova hands Cameron a delicately carved red wooden Dala horse, a keepsake that confirms their shared history better than any words could. A discarded ring and a hidden wooden toy separated by state lines for 30 years are brought into the same room. By physically connecting these objects, the truth of their shared bloodline becomes undeniable. With her family line restored, Tova alters her plans. She cancels her application to the Charter Village retirement facility and instead purchases a condominium in town. Cameron stops his aimless drifting up and down the coast. He unpacks his life in Washington state, taking up permanent residence and fully integrating into Tova's life as her grandson. Having completed his final task, Marcellus's clock runs out. Tova releases him into the open ocean where his body slowly sinks to its final resting place on the dark seafloor. By utilizing every ounce of his remaining strength and intelligence, the octopus successfully united a fractured family just days before his own biological deadline expired. 3 individuals began this timeline in total isolation, counting down the days to their respective endings. By converging on a single aquarium in the Pacific Northwest, they managed to salvage their remaining time and ensure the survival of a family line.